Today, I'm going to be swapping the careers of two of the most explosive point guards in the NBA. Both Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook will have their careers swapped, so Westbrook will start things off with the Bulls, playing alongside Deng, Williams, Thomas Hughes, and a young Joakim Noah. And on the flip side, Derrick Rose will get to pair up with KD in OKC, as well as a young Serge Ibaka, and later on down the line, he will be playing with James Harden. So let's go ahead and simulate the 08-09 season. And at the end of that season, LeBron James has won himself the MVP award, putting up 31, 10, and 8, which is great to see. Derrick Rose winning Rookie of the Year, outdoing Russell Westbrook on the Bulls this time around. Take a look at the All-NBA teams to see who's in them. You got KD at OKC making the All-NBA third team. Then if we look at the rookie teams, you've of course got Derrick Rose in that first NBA team, and then you've got Russell Westbrook there in the second All-NBA team. Westbrook up to an 80 overall, and Derrick Rose now up to an 83 overall player. If we look at how both teams did, you can see the Bulls weren't amazing in the regular season, 45-37, and then the Thunder are actually going to be out of the playoffs completely, losing more games than they have won. Derrick Rose's stats were fairly good for the year, 26 points per game, 3 rebounds and 8 assists, as well as almost 2 steals a game as well, whereas Russell Westbrook was only putting up 12, 2, and 3. And it's interesting to see that even with the star power of KD, the OKC didn't do as well at all compared to the Chicago Bulls with Russell Westbrook, even though Derrick Rose won himself Rookie of the Year that year. We'll go ahead and take a look at how the Chicago Bulls team will do in the playoffs. The first matchup is going to be up against the Boston Celtics, who have Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett. This is going to be a very tough matchup coming up against the big three in Boston over here. We'll simulate the first game, which is of course going to Boston. I kind of feel a sweep coming on, although the Bulls are getting the second game to push it to a 1-1. Boston are taking game 3 to make it 2-2, but the Bulls are fighting back at the moment. We got Russell Westbrook putting up 21 points in that one, Deng on 17, Thomas on 14, Williams on 13 as well, Pierce putting up 30 points, but it wasn't enough to stop the Bulls. That game, let's simulate game number 5, which is going to go to Boston. So the Bulls really need to pick things up in this last game if they want to stay in the playoffs. They're going to hold the lead through the first quarter, and the Bulls are going to pull away to win 113-104 overall and send this to a game 7. Already in the first round of the playoffs, we got a game 7 for the Bulls. The Celtics are going to take the first quarter over there, and they're going to take the second quarter, and they're just going to run away with it over there. As you can see, the Bulls have been eliminated 103-94. Russell Westbrook didn't actually play that well in the last game, only playing 17 minutes and putting up 9 points compared to Paul Pierce, Rondo, Ray Allen, Garnett. It's absolutely ridiculous. So in that first season, Rose and Russell Westbrook both leave empty-handed as the LA Lakers win the championship, with Kobe winning finals MVP over there. We had Kobe putting up 43 points in that last game as they beat the Magic 4-1. So going into season number 2, you can see that OKC have now picked up James Harden at a 78 overall for his rookie season. So let's see whether he can help Derrick Rose and KD actually make the playoffs this time. So this season, LeBron James again is going to win himself back-to-back MVP awards, putting up 27, 9, and 9. We got Steph Curry entering the league with the rookies, winning Rookie of the Year for the Warriors. And this year, both teams actually did a lot better. As you can see, KD getting into the All-NBA first team over there for the OKC. We also had Derrick Rose entering the All-NBA third team for OKC as well at 92 overall now. And we had James Harden in the All-Rookie first team, so definitely a help for the OKC themselves. They also had an All-Rookie second team player, and the Thunder had the best record in the West, putting up 54 wins throughout the season. We had Derrick Rose putting up 26, 5, and 9, which is great to see. And then on the flip side, if we look at how Russell Westbrook's doing with the Bulls, you can see a lot worse than last season, and he was putting up 13, 2, and 4 over there. So we've got both teams in the playoffs this time. OKC are coming up against the Grizzlies, and then we've got Chicago there against the Miami Heat. So we'll sim the first round, and we've got the Bulls being eliminated by the Miami Heat, but OKC are still in it. This is basically a reverse of last year. We had Dwayne Wade putting up 29 points for the Heat, and on the flip side, Russell Westbrook only managing 12 points for the Bulls. Whereas Derrick Rose over here was leading the Thunder with 29 points, KD on 24, and then James Harden on 19 points for the Thunder to beat the Memphis Grizzlies as they now face the Denver Nuggets. We have Chauncey Billups and Carmelo Anthony, which is definitely going to be a tough matchup. They're going to take game 1 as well, but OKC are going to come back to take game 2 and game 3 to put them up 2-1. OKC are going to win that one to put them up 3-2 as well, and they're going to win the series 4-2. Carmelo putting up 45 points, but it's not enough to stop KD and Derrick Rose over there, 33 and 25 points, and then Harden on 18 points as well. So now they're coming up against the San Antonio Spurs. They've got Tony Parker, Ginobili, Tim Duncan as well. a very, very tough matchup. On the flip side, they got Miami versus Washington. So let's see who's going to make that final. OKC are going to win the first game and the second one, as well as the third one. It's looking like a sweep for OKC, but San Antonio are going to take game 4 to put them up 3-1, and OKC are going to take that fifth game to win 4-1. Derrick Rose, 34-2-5 for him, which is great to see. And now they're up against the Wizards in the final. This could be Derrick Rose's first championship with OKC. They got Gilbert Arenas on the other side and Mike Miller as well. So this team looks a little bit easier than San Antonio, but you never know what happens with the playoffs. They're going to take game 1, which is good to see, and game 2. Is it going to be a sweep as they take game 3? It actually is 4-0, and OKC have won themselves their first championship with KD winning finals MVP. So we got Derrick Rose winning his championship ring, which is great to see. KD was an absolute beast in the finals. So was Harden actually. Harden actually stepped up a little bit compared to previous games, putting up 22, and Derrick Rose with 27-5-9, winning himself his first championship. So the Bulls have managed to pick up Gibson over there and a really young Kyle Korver to hopefully help their team out. Joakim Noah's up to an 86, and they've also got Carlos Boozer at 86 as well. But can Russell Westbrook help this team to actually make it to the finals and play against potentially Derrick Rose, KD, Ibaka, and James Harden? So even though LeBron James has left Cleveland and is now at the Heat, he is still winning MVP awards, putting up 39-10. Blake Griffin as Rookie of the Year, Manu Ginobili 6th Man of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year going to Dwight, but Most Improved Player going to Russell Westbrook, putting up 28, 7, and 10, which is great to see. Scott Brooks leading the OKC with Derrick Rose to a 70-game winning season, which is absolutely nuts. We have Russell Westbrook in the All-NBA first team alongside Derrick Rose, LeBron James, KD, and Pau Gasol. So both of these guys are now hitting the big leagues, with both of them being in the All-NBA first team over there. Offensively, OKC also have Serge Ibaka, but Russell Westbrook is right alongside him in that all-defensive second team as well. And both teams had an amazing season. OKC the first seed on the West, and Chicago the second seed on the East. I guess because at OKC you kind of got some big names there. So Derrick Rose at 25.4 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, and 8 assists over there. And of course that win record is absolutely nuts. So OKC against the Hornets and Chicago against Philadelphia. So I'll simulate that round, and hopefully both of them make it through fairly comfortable. The Bulls winning in 5, the OKC winning in 7. The Hornets actually pushed them to a game 7. You can see Derrick Rose leading the team with 35 points. But at least they just about make it through. They're coming up against Denver once again. Hopefully they can win that one comfortably. The Chicago Bulls though are coming up against the Celtics once again, and they've still got Paul Pierce, and they've actually got a Shaquille O'Neal on the Celtics at 79 overall. So these are not going to be easy games. OKC are going to take game 1, and the Bulls are going to be losing 1-0 to the Celtics over there. Boston are going to take game 3 in this series. The Bulls fighting a little bit. OKC are winning theirs, and the Bulls are going to go out again to the Boston Celtics. That's twice now that they've faced them and twice that they've lost, but OKC are still in this. They're going to hopefully go through, which they do 4-1, where they'll face Portland now with LaMarcus Aldridge at 86 over there. They are the 6th seed, so it's kind of interesting that they have managed to make it through this far, but OKC are going to take game 1, and Portland are going to force this to a game 7. KD stepping up to 24 points. Not an amazing game for any of these guys considering where they've been playing the rest of the season. Aldridge on 10 rebounds, but Odin on 20 rebounds. Absolutely nuts over there. But now we got a Magic Thunder final to end off this season. They got Vince Carter and a 95 Dwight Howard, fresh off of winning that Defensive Player of the Year title. So let's see what happens in the first game, which is going to go to the Magic. The second game over there is going to go to the Thunder, which is good to see. Can Derrick Rose win a back-to-back championship to take the 4th game to make it 2-2, and the 5th game to put them up 3-2 over there? But the next game is going to the Magic, so we are going to a game 7 for the final. Can Derrick Rose push the Thunder to win back-to-back championships? The OKC have opened up a fairly big gap, and it's just going to continue to grow as they win 123-105 to win a 2nd championships in a row. KD again winning finals MVP. It's not going to go to Derrick Rose as he only put up 25, 3, 11. I say only, that's still a decent stat line. KD 34, 9, and 2. Serge Ibaka as well, quite good on the boards, getting 13 over there. So again, it looks like Derrick Rose is having a much better time at OKC, and Westbrook is with the Bulls. That's 3 seasons in a row they have failed to make the finals. So off the back of that, next season we got KD winning MVP for the OKC, putting up 33, 12, and 5, which is good to see. Kyrie Irving at Rookie of the Year. We got Scott Brooks leading the OKC to a 71 winning game season, and Derrick Rose and KD are both going to make the All-NBA first team, with Steph Curry alongside Russell Westbrook there in that All-NBA third team as well. He led the Bulls to getting the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. Well, they'll face the Brooklyn Nets, whereas OKC have got the LA Lakers to contend with in the first round of the playoffs. They have still got Kobe Bryant playing for them and Pau Gasol. So it's definitely not an easy matchup in that first round of the playoffs, but we see what happens with the OKC considering the amazing season that they have had, and both teams are going to make it through to the second round, where OKC are playing the Golden State Warriors, who have of course got Curry, Clay, not really a full roster at the moment. They haven't got KD from the OKC yet, and on the flip side we got the Bulls playing up against the Miami Heat, who have got an absolutely ridiculous team with Wade, LeBron, and Chris Bosh. So definitely not an easy team for the Bulls, but they have managed to take game 1 as to have OKC. Game 2 is going to go to Miami. Those game 3 as well. I really think Miami going to beat them over here. 3-1 to Miami, but the Bulls are fighting back to win game 5 to push it to a game 6, and it is going to go to a game 7. And on the flip side, the OKC are losing to the Golden State 3-2 over there. So we'll head into the simcast for this one to see what ends up happening. And it looks like this series and OKC are both going to go to a game 7. So let's see what happens for Russell Westbrook and the Bulls against the big 3 in Miami. And it is very close with 1 point in it with 1 minute 9 seconds left to go. This is going to be so tough. I really want to see Russell Westbrook actually make it to the finals this time, but coming up against that big 3 in Miami is going to prove very difficult. We got Butler at the line shooting some free throws. He's going to make the first one to tie up the game, gonna go ahead and make the second one to put the Bulls up by a single point. We got LeBron running up the court with just over a minute left to go. He's going to try and find some space. We got Bosh setting the screen on the pick and roll, getting stopped by Joakim Noah, which is good for the Bulls. The shot clock's going to run down over there. They got it up with Chalmers. Is he going to pull up for 3? He does. Westbrook guarding him, but somehow he knocks down the 3-pointer with Russell Westbrook guarding him. So Butler, Westbrook, and the rest of the Bulls players do have to make this. We're waiting for a clutch play from the Bulls. We got Westbrook posting up, trying to find his way to the basket. He puts up a shot, but he's going to unfortunately miss that one and then intentionally foul to give the ball back to the Heat. So I think the Bulls are probably going to intentionally foul off this inbounded ball. We'll play it out to LeBron James, and they are going to intentionally foul there to send him to the line. So the Heat up by 2 points. You got to hope that LeBron James misses a free throw. He's going to just about knock down that first one. So the Bulls need him to miss over here, but of course he's not going to do that as he sinks that one. So Chicago are going to call timeout as they're down by 4 points with 25 seconds left to go. So if you're the Bulls, do you try and go for 2 3-pointers, a 3 and a 2? What are you going to do over here? The Bulls are going to play it out to Westbrook though to see what magic he can conjure up. He's trying to drive in. He's going to go for another tough layup, but he's going to knock it down this time to put them within 2 points. And I reckon they'll intentionally foul. Yep, they do there, sending Wade to the line this time as he's got a chance to give Miami a bit more breathing room, and he's going to knock down that first one. So the Bulls need a miss here and then a 3-pointer, but Wade, he's going to knock that one down. So again, the Bulls find themselves 4 points behind the Heat. I think they really need a 3 now. Westbrook, he's going to try and find a little bit of space. He pulls up for 3 and he unfortunately is going to miss that one. The Bulls again intentionally fouling, but I think that's going to be the end of this one. And yet the Bulls are out 111 to 107. Things are not going well for Westbrook in Chicago, but that was a very tough matchup coming up against the Miami Heat. But now we've got to swing things over to the Western Conference, where we've got a game 7 Golden State against OKC. The OKC absolutely unstoppable in the regular season, and it looks like they're going to make this look way too easy. They're winning 131 to 87 as they progress to the Western Conference Finals, where they'll face the LA Clippers this time, the 3rd seed in the West, who do have Chris Paul at 94, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. Not an easy matchup, but OKC have got some really good players on their team, so we'll see what happens. They're going to take game 1. The Clippers are going to come back at them to take game 2 and game 3 as well to put them up 2-1, and the Thunder are finding themselves 3-1 down. So we're going to hop into the simcast. This is a must-win game for the Thunder, and they're again going to make this one look easy as well, winning 122 to 86. They just need to do that another 2 times, but unfortunately they're going to get eliminated in that next game. So the Clippers win 4-2 in that series. We had Blake Griffin putting up 19, 10, and 7. Compared to Derrick Rose, 30 points for him, but KD nowhere to be seen. Harden, again, 9 points for him. So those two didn't really step up in that game. So what have we got in the final? It's going to be a Clippers Heat final. Can the big 3 in Miami win the finals against the Clippers? They do 4-1. And that is going to be the end of that one. So LeBron James winning finals MVP, but no chance at another championship for OKC or the Bulls. So now we're into the 2012 to 2013 season. And of course, this was the year that Derrick Rose got injured. But because we're in 2K simulations, we're going to pretend that never happened. And Westbrook is still at the Bulls with Joakim Noah and Carlos Boozer. On the flip side, Derrick Rose is still at OKC, but they have lost James Harden to the Rockets. They've still got KD there, but only for for a couple more seasons. So we're back to LeBron winning MVP again. Can this man just stop winning MVP awards? Blake Griffin as Rookie of the Year, J.R. Smith as Sixth Man of the Year, LeBron James again Defensive Player of the Year as well. In the All-NBA first team, we do have Russell Westbrook there for the Bulls, and it looks like the OKC struggled a little bit. KD there in the second NBA team, and Derrick Rose there in the All-NBA third team. But without James Harden there as an extra shooter, I think they struggled a little bit, dropping down to the third seed in the Western Conference. We had Rose putting up 28 points per game, 4 rebounds and 8 assists, and KD over there putting up big numbers as well, 38 and 2. And we had Westbrook leading the Bulls to the second seed in the East, just behind that Miami Heat, putting up some really nice numbers, 23, 6 and 10, which is great to see. So can this be the year that the Bulls finally make it to the finals, or will they fall short again against Miami's big three? We'll simulate the first round, and it is going to go well for the Bulls as they make the second round. So do OKC, both winning over there. We got OKC up against Sacramento. We got the Bulls coming up against the New York Knicks, and Sacramento are pushing this to a game 7, and we are again both going to have game 7s for both the Bulls and the OKC. So let's go on to OKC's game 7. So even without James Harden in the postseason, the OKC are going to make light work of the San Antonio Spurs, 112-90, but it's just them pushing it to a game 7 makes it very tense. So now we'll flip back over to the East, where we've got the Bulls coming up against the New York Knicks. The Knicks have of course got Jason Kidd and Carmelo Anthony with Tyson Chandler at the center spot. I mean, whoever wins this is coming up against Miami, so I'm not sure how much further either team will be able to get through this. But we'll sim this game 7 anyway, and it looks like the Bulls yet again are going to be eliminated. Russell Westbrook still yet to make it through that second round and get to the conference finals. But let's go back to OKC. They're up against the LA Lakers. We do still have Kobe, Steve Nash, Pau Gasol, and now a Dwight Howard as well, making things even more difficult. They are the first seed in the West. This is definitely not going to be an easy series, but OKC are going to be up 3-2 now. Are the Lakers going to push this to a game 7? They're not. OKC are finding themselves in the final against the big three in Miami. You've of course got LeBron James, Wade, and Chris Bosh over there. So this again, not going to be an easy one at all. But let's see whether OKC can take down the Heat. And the Heat are up 3-1. I think this is going to be a 4-1, but the Thunder are fighting back to win game 5. We'll hop on the Simcast to see if they can push this to a game 7. And unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. 124-96, and that's going to be end of the run for OKC. LeBron James finals MVP. This man is absolutely unstoppable. We have Derrick Rose putting up 32 points. We have KD absolutely non-existent. Not sure whether he was injured for that final. Actually, he was. He had an ankle sprain for the rest of the season, which wasn't great. That's going to mean yet another miss on winning any championships for both the Thunder and the Bulls. So Derrick Rose is now the MVP of the NBA. 31, 6 and 10. Ridiculous stat line for him. A well-deserved MVP. Chris Middleton is Sixth Man of the Year. DeAndre Jordan Defensive Player of the Year. The OKC again going on a tear throughout the NBA. 65 wins throughout the season, and Westbrook's alongside him in the All-NBA first team. LeBron James's time as MVP has come to an end. We have KD there in the second team along with Steph. They'll be pairing up later on in the video. And we have Russell Westbrook also in the all-defensive second team. Both teams played really well. OKC first seed in the West, and so too are the Bulls in the East. The first seed for both of them. 65 wins for the Thunder and 58 wins for the Chicago Bulls. Of course, the Bulls have now got Jimmy Butler alongside Russell Westbrook putting up 16, 3 and 4, which is great to see. And the first matchup for the Bulls is going to be the Boston Celtics. I think they've got rid of their big three now, and they pretty much have. They still got Rajon Rondo, but I reckon this Bulls team can go ahead and win the first round. And on the flip side, we had OKC up against the Spurs, but both teams going through. OKC now are up against the Rockets, where they'll face none other than James Harden on that Rockets team, paired up with Jeremy Lin and Dwight Howard at a 96 over there. We've got Derrick Rose and KD up against James Harden, who left the team. So we'll go ahead and simulate the first game, which is going to go to OKC, and they're going to end up winning 4-1 over there. We got Chicago 3-1 up against Detroit. Detroit fighting back though to win game 5 and actually sending this to a game 7. What have we got going on over here? We got Smith putting up 17 points, Drummond on 14, Billups on 13, Westbrook only on 17 points, and so's Butler as well. So I think we need Westbrook to step up a little bit more, and he actually is, to finish off Detroit over there. Butler up to 27, Westbrook on 23, 4 and 14. Well, they'll now face the Raptors. We have Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Rudy Gay, Jonas Valanciunas, so a kind of all-rounded team. And we got the LA Lakers up against the Clippers over there. So both teams are going to win their series 4-1. And for the first time this video, we have now got the Bulls coming up against the Thunder. Russell Westbrook versus Derrick Rose, the two players that we have switched their careers around. Let's see what ends up happening in game number 1. It's going to go to the Chicago Bulls, with Rose putting up 50 points for OKC, but it not being enough. Westbrook and Deng combining for 49 over there. But that's a ridiculous game for Derrick Rose, going for 50, and yet his team still lose that one, and the Bulls are going to take game 2 as well. Game 3 going to the Bulls. We got Butler on 33, Westbrook on 24, KD on 40 points. But this OKC team cannot live with the Chicago Bulls, and they are going to end up being swept by Chicago Bulls. So finally, Westbrook has managed to get himself a championship ring with the Chicago Bulls, and he has a finals MVP alongside that one, which is nuts. 25.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 12 assists during that series. So we got Dame winning MVP, 31, 3, and 9 this season. Okafor winning Rookie of the Year. Schroeder winning 6th Man of the Year. AD at the Pelicans winning Defensive Player of the Year. We have Russell Westbrook making the All-NBA first team for the Bulls. KD making the second team, but Derrick Rose not making any of those All-NBA teams. Though his team did end up getting the 2nd seed in the Western Conference. He's putting up 19, 4, and 8. So a little bit of a drop off compared to what we've previously seen him been doing. And Westbrook there, 26.6 points per game, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds, leading the Bulls to the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. So we've got OKC coming up against the Rockets again, facing that James Harden, and then in the East we've got Chicago coming up against the Washington Wizards. We got both teams making it through to the next round. We got Memphis on the left and Toronto on the right, and we got both of them going through in 6 games. Now Chicago are facing Cleveland, who do of course have Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, as well as Kevin Love as well, so definitely not an easy matchup. Then OKC are coming up against the MVP for this season as they face the Portland Trailblazers. So we got Chicago down 3-2 at the moment. Can they go ahead and win this game 6 to send it to a game 7? We're about to find out. Unfortunately, the Cavaliers are just going to outdo them 125 to 115 over there as they go through to the final. OKC are up 3-2 at the moment. Can they make it easy? Unfortunately not. Portland are going to hit back with KD getting 26, Derrick Rose on 23, but Dame hitting 31 points, 7 from 12 from 3 as well. Absolutely nuts. So it's down to a game 7 to see if they can progress to the finals, and they're going to make light work of Portland, 135 to 107. So now they're going to face the Cleveland again with LeBron, Kevin Love, and Kyrie Irving. So this is going to be a tough matchup for the Thunder, but they're going to take game 1. Cavs coming back at them for game 2 and game 3 as well to put them up 2-1, 3-1 to the Cavs. So the Thunder really need to win this game. Unfortunately, they're going to get absolutely destroyed by the Cavs, 152 to 99, and the Cavs are going to be the NBA champions. LeBron James finals MVP as well. LeBron James putting up 46 points in that last game. Kyrie for 33 and Kevin Love on 25. Whereas we had Derrick Rose really underperforming there, 17 points for him, and KD on 18. Enes Kanter getting the most points for the OKC with 19 over there. So going into the 2016 season, Westbrook is now at the New York Knicks, teaming up with Carmelo Anthony, Porzingis, and Joakim Noah. Whereas on the flip side, Derrick Rose is still there at OKC, but this time he hasn't got Kevin Durant with him. This time he's got Steven Adams, Enes Kanter, and Victor Oladipo. So it's going to be interesting to see whether OKC can keep up what they've been doing and what Westbrook can do now on the Knicks instead of the Bulls. So we got Dame winning back-to-back MVPs. Absolutely nuts from him, 31 points through the season. Ben Simmons getting himself Rookie of the Year. AD Defensive Player of the Year. Rodney Hood Most Improved. So let's take a look at the All-NBA teams to see where our 2 players have ended up. You got Jimmy Butler still playing well for the Chicago Bulls. They're making the All-NBA first team. We got Russell Westbrook and Rose both making the All-NBA third team alongside Giannis, AD, and of course Nikola Jokic. The Knicks getting 44 wins throughout the season isn't too bad for them. You got Westbrook getting 21 points per game, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds, definitely helping the team out. Derrick Rose actually still doing well for the Thunder, even without Kevin Durant on the team. 25 points per game over there, stepping up a little bit for him. But now it's all down to the playoffs. OKC are the 4th seed and the Bulls are going to be the 2nd seed. So let's see how they got on in round number 1. Both teams making it through fairly comfortably. You can see the Knicks going through in 6 games. OKC now up against the MVP with Damian Lillard in that 2nd round. Unfortunately, Westbrook and the Knicks are going to get eliminated by Westbrook's former team. He only managed to put up 15 points in that game. Porzingis with 21 and 13. But unfortunately, Butler putting up 39, 9, and 6. Absolutely nuts from him to give the Bulls the lead. So unfortunately, Russell Westbrook again is out in the playoffs. And Derrick Rose is in a tough spot over here. 3-1 down at the moment against the Portland Trailblazers. Let's see if the Thunder can make a comeback even without KD. And it's fairly close at the moment. 1 minute 44 left. with OKC 2 points down. Again, they really need to win this game, being 3-1 down at the moment in the series. We got Derrick Rose driving in, trying to find a little bit of space. What is he going to do here? He's still got the ball inside the paint. He's gone up for a tough two, and he's going to sink the shot to tie up the game. So we got CJ McCollum running up the court with the ball. Of course, the Trailblazers do have the MVP with Dame, but it looks like he's not on the court at the moment. McCollum off to Davis for the easy pick and roll two-handed slam. We got Rose putting up 23 points and 13 assists compared to Dame's 24 and 4 over there. So Portland up by a point, just over a minute left to go. We got Derrick Rose trying to again find some space. Is he going to come clutch in this fourth and final quarter? They're going to set the screen with Cantor that time. Rose driving in, getting the layup off, but unfortunately missing that shot over there. Got CJ McCollum coming the other way, playing it over to Davis for a 2-pointer, and he's going to knock that one down. So Thunder down by 4 points. They need a couple more buckets here if they want to be making it through to the next round of the playoffs. We got Rose going for the 3-pointer, and he is going to knock that one down off of the screen. We got CJ McCollum guarded by Derrick Rose. They are up by 1 point. They're going to set the screen. McCollum driving in, playing it off to Plumlee, who's going to get the dunk off and put them back up to a 3-point lead. So can Derrick Rose get another 3-pointer to tie up the game? They got just under 30 seconds left, and the Thunder are going to call timeout. So let's see what the Thunder can do over here. They're going to play it out to Oladipo, back out to Rose. He's going to try and cross up CJ McCollum. He's driving in. He's gone up for the layup, and he's going to knock that one down to put them within 1 point of the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers inbounding the ball. They're going to play it out to McCollum, and of course the Thunder are just going to intentionally foul with Cantor. So we got Turner at the line. Is he going to knock down both his free throws? He's knocked down the first one to put them up by 2 points, and the second one is just going to miss over there. So the Thunder have got a real chance here to either win the game or send it to overtime. We got Derrick Rose driving up the court. Just over 10 seconds left to go. He's driving in. He's gone up for the layup, and he's going to knock it down to tie up the game. 121 apiece with 9.3 seconds left on the clock. What a layup that was from Derrick Rose to tie up the game. So we've got McCollum on the ball. Is he just going to try and let the clock run down? He's played over to Turner, wide open for 3, but he's going to miss the shot, and the game is going to overtime. But no, someone has managed to knock down a ridiculous full court shot. I'm not sure that he got it off in time, but that was absolutely nuts. I wasn't expecting that. Andre Robertson there chucking it up from full court, and somehow it goes in. I think that's not going to count though. That is such a shame, because what a shot that was, somehow making that one. But unfortunately, he was just out of time. So the game's just going to run away from OKC over there, as they unfortunately lose 137 to 128. And that ends their playoff run for the season. And the Blazers are actually going to go ahead and win the championships. Dame winning MVP in the finals over there, as they win in a 7-game series against the Bulls. So of course, in the 2017 to 18 season, Derrick Rose started off with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but he ended off the season with the Timberwolves. So we're going to save all the hassle, and we're just going to stick Westbrook on the Timberwolves team, where he gets to play with Karl Anthony Towns, Jimmy Butler, and Andrew Wiggins. He's reunited with Jimmy Butler to see what he can do. And on the flip side, you got Derrick Rose over here playing with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony back in OKC. So in Minnesota, Karl Anthony Towns is winning MVP, 23-4-4 for him. You got Steph and KD on the All-NBA first team. Karl Anthony Towns as well there. And Derrick Rose on 22.2 points per game in OKC, as they get the second last seed in the Western Conference. And then on the East, we had Russell Westbrook with the Timberwolves, matching the Golden State Warriors record of 65 wins for the season. He was putting up 22, 5, and 9 over there, which is great. So hopefully he can go ahead and maybe get himself into the finals. But the first matchup is going to put Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook up against each other as they play each other in the first round of the playoffs. Minnesota are going to take the first 2 games. I reckon they might actually sweep the OKC here. So the Timberwolves are going to win that series 4-1 fairly comfortably, and they'll progress to the next one. But they're going to come up against the LA Clippers, and they'll beat them fairly comfortably, and now they're facing the Golden State Warriors. We've of course got Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, and then JaVale McGee there at the center spot. Definitely a very, very tough team to come up against, but Minnesota are going to take game 1. But the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to pull away a little bit, going up 3-1 in the series, and they're actually going to beat the Golden State Warriors 4-1. Curry going 38 points in that last game, KD on 26, but Butler on 26, Westbrook on 23, 4, and 7. Butler's game was absolutely crazy in that one. So let's see who we're going to face off against in the finals. It's going to be the 76ers who beat Cleveland. And the 76ers have of course got Joel Embiid headlining their team. So let's see what the Timberwolves can do. I reckon we'll actually go ahead and win it, and we just about do in 7 games. Towns winning finals MVP, which is good to see. In that last game, Towns having 26, 13, and 3. Westbrook down on 23, 3, and 10. And not a bad season for Russell Westbrook with the Timberwolves. So Russell Westbrook is going to win himself MVP, putting up some nice stats over there. 30, 11, and 10 to win himself that award. Got Antetokounmpo winning Defensive Player of the Year. D'Angelo Russell on Most Improved Player. Coach of the Year going to the OKC's coach, putting them at 60 wins for the season. This is going to be the last year that Derrick Rose is in OKC. And we have Russell Westbrook getting into the All-NBA first team. No Derrick Rose in any of those ones. Unfortunately, Westbrook in the All-Defensive team as well. And OKC do have the first seed in the Eastern Conference. Minnesota Timberwolves have got that 4th seed over there. Derrick Rose has been putting up some decent numbers. 23.8 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists as well. He's got Paul George alongside him as well as Steven Adams. But as I said, this is the last season he's going to be at OKC. So can he end it off with a championship in OKC? The Timberwolves are coming up against the Lakers, and we got OKC up against the Clippers. And unfortunately, the Timberwolves are somehow going to get eliminated against the LA Lakers. What did we have going on? LeBron James not having an amazing game. JaVale McGee stepping up for 25 points for them. Russell Westbrook putting 46 points up, but unfortunately his team not able to help him out and get him through to the next round. So Westbrook is out. Even though he won himself the MVP, he's not getting any further through the playoffs. The OKC though are going to sweep the LA Lakers 4-0. Paul George putting up big numbers with 46 points. Derrick Rose on 22, 1 and 2. So maybe we need him to step up a little bit if Paul George has a bad game. But they're up against the Rockets next, who are going to take game 1 and game 2. So the Thunder are in a bit of trouble. They're going to go 3-1 down to the Houston Rockets. And I'm not sure whether they'll be able to come back from 3-1 down, but you never know. The playoffs, anything can happen. And they're going to make it 3-1, winning 123-18. Maybe the 3-1 comeback is on. We'll see what they can do in the next game over here, as they are at home this time. But unfortunately, the Rockets are just going to outdo them 118-113, and they'll advance to the next round, where they're coming up against the 76ers. We got James Harden winning Western Conference Finals MVP up against Joel Embiid on the other side. James Harden alongside Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony as well. And the Rockets are going to win 4-1 over there. Chris Paul winning himself Finals MVP and actually getting a ring in this simulation. So now we got both players making some moves. We got Westbrook going over to the Detroit Pistons. He doesn't have the best roster around him. He's got Blake Griffin, who's injured, Luke Kennard, and Chris Wood. Whereas on the flip side, you got Derrick Rose over here playing for the Houston Rockets, reunited with James Harden over there. So this is going to be an interesting duo to see what happens through this regular season. We got James Harden in the All-NBA first team over there. Derrick Rose making the All-NBA second team as well. And Russell Westbrook in that third team for Detroit Pistons. And unfortunately, the Rockets did not do well at all that season. Neither did the Pistons, actually. And you can see the Rockets' record was absolutely horrendous. Derrick Rose, 28, 5, and 7. James Harden, 38 and 7 as well. But around them, no one else really stepped up to the plate and played amazingly. So the Rockets are not going to be in the playoffs. And then one win less of them was the Pistons. So Russell Westbrook played all right, 23 points per game, 7 and 7. The rest of his team not absolutely amazing. So next season we'll see Westbrook stay on the Pistons, but Derrick Rose is going straight over to Washington. So of course, with the 2020-21 season, Derrick Rose started off playing for Detroit, and then he moved mid-season to the New York Knicks. But we're just going to be putting Westbrook on the Knicks from the get-go, where he'll be with Randall, RJ Barrett, and Mitchell Robertson, whereas Derrick Rose will be in Washington with Bradley Beal, Bertans, and Rui Hachimura. So we have Doncic winning MVP, putting up 28, 12, and 9. Then we also have the Knicks going 63 and 19 throughout the season, which hopefully bodes well for the playoffs. In terms of the All-NBA teams, we do have Westbrook in that second team. No Derrick Rose in any of these teams, unfortunately. And the Washington Wizards didn't actually play amazingly throughout the regular season, but they did manage to get themselves a place in the play-in tournament. Derrick Rose playing alongside Bradley Beal managed to put up 21, 4, and 8. Whereas of course Westbrook over here 22, 11, and 10. So he's playing really well with the Knicks as they take the first seed in the Eastern Conference. But let's see whether the Wizards can get out of this play-in tournament. So the Wizards unfortunately are unable to make it through. They did lose the first game against Cleveland, and then they lost the second game there against the Hawks. Yeah, Derrick Rose only managing 24, 4, and 6. Bradley Beal 26, 6, and 8. But unfortunately it wasn't enough to beat Atlanta. We're now going on to face the first seed, which is of course the New York Knicks. So let's see what Russell Westbrook can do with the New York Knicks. They're going to go through the first round to now face the Indiana Pacers. The second round is going to be a sweep straight away through to face Philadelphia with Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Danny Green, Seth Curry, and Ben Simmons at the point guard spot. So let's see what Russell Westbrook and the Knicks can do through the first game, which they are going to take, which is good to see. They're going to take game 2 as well to put them up 2-0. Philadelphia coming back at them to take the third game and the fourth game to tie up the series. They're going to take game 3 as well. So I'll hop on into the Simcast to see what the New York Knicks can do to respond over here. They are the first seed in the East, and the Philadelphia Sixers are that second seed. They're just about going to take the first quarter, although it is getting a little bit close in through the third quarter. And we're down to the last minute over here as the Knicks are down by 3 points to the Philadelphia 76ers. So we're going to find out what the Knicks can do to respond in the final few minutes of the game. We got the Knicks inbounding the ball. They need a bucket. They play it over to Russell Westbrook, and he's going to drive in against Ben Simmons. He goes up for the layup, and he's going to knock it down to put them within 1 point of the 76ers. Just under a minute left to go. You got Ben Simmons running up the court now for the 76ers. What can him and Embiid cook up for the final few minutes? They're going to just hold on to the ball for a little bit. Embiid coming for the screen, pick and roll off to Embiid, and he's going to come through for that two-handed slam to put the 76ers up to a 3-point lead. So Westbrook and the Knicks needing another bucket. Are they going to go for a pick and roll or a three-pointer? They set the pick and roll there. Westbrook driving in, playing it out just about to Robinson, who gets the shot off and draws the foul off of Joel Embiid to give him a chance at the line to tie up the game. Can Robinson knock down this clutch free throw? He just about is going to miss that one. Tobias Harris able to get the rebound for the 76ers. I think the Knicks really needed that free throw to go in. So now the 76ers can put more pressure on the Knicks with the final few seconds left in the game. Westbrook, he's guarding that Ben Simmons, and Robinson's able to intercept the pass and call timeout to give the Knicks a chance. So the Knicks need a bucket to send this to a game 7 if they want to keep their chances alive in the playoffs. Westbrook's just going to sit with the ball at the top of the key over here. He's going to try and drive in now, go back out. He's got the dribble moves, he's got the handles, but has he got the bucket? He's got in for the 2, and unfortunately he's going to miss that one. So the Knicks are going home to the Philadelphia 76ers, and that's going to be it for Westbrook's season this time around. Your Ben Simmons there winning Eastern Conference MVP. He's having a great season for the 76ers. So obviously for the 2020-21 season, Derrick Rose started it off in Detroit, and then he went over to the New York Knicks midway through the season. However, for this one, we're just going to be sticking Westbrook on the Knicks straight away. And then we've also got Derrick Rose there in Washington with Bradley Beal, Bertans, and Rui Hachimura. So let's see what these guys can do in the 2020-21 season. So Doncic is going to win MVP for that season, ball winning rookie of the year, and we got Antetokounmpo getting defensive player of the year as well. Russell Westbrook is going to get into that all NBA second team over there alongside Ben Simmons, Zion, Tatum, and Anthony Davis. Unfortunately, Derrick Rose is not going to make any of the all NBA teams at all, but Westbrook is going to find himself in the all defensive second team as well. In terms of the season as a whole, you can see the Wizards made it into the play-in tournament. Derrick Rose managed to put up 20 points per game, which is a little bit off what we've seen him do in previous seasons. 4 rebounds and 7 assists a game. On the flip side, we got Russell Westbrook here in New York getting 20.8 points per game, 10 rebounds and 10 assists, putting the Knicks up to the second seed in the East. So let's see whether Washington and Derrick Rose can make it through the play-in tournament. And luckily for them, they are going to beat the Brooklyn Nets to make them the 7th seed in the East, where they will face Russell Westbrook's New York Knicks. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. I reckon the Knicks will probably win, but it depends on what Bradley Beal can do in the playoffs alongside that Derrick Rose. So we'll simulate the first game, which is going to go to New York over there as expected. The second game, again, going to New York. Is it going to be a sweep? They're up 3-0 at the moment, and they are going to win that in a sweep. So the Wizards are out. We had Bradley Beal putting up 35, Derrick Rose on 25, but Russell Westbrook 34 points with Barrett, Knox, Randall, Toppin, Mitchell Robertson all getting in the double digits for the points. So they'll go on to the next round where they are going to come up against the Boston Celtics. And they are actually going to sweep the Celtics as well, 4-0. Well, they'll next come up against the Philadelphia 76ers, and they have Ben Simmons, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid as well. So this is going to be a challenge for them, although saying that they did sweep the last 2 teams they have just come come up against. But New York are going to take game one. Is this going to be a third sweep in a row? Philadelphia are going to say no to that, and they're going to take the next two games. Knicks coming back at them for 2-2. The Philadelphia 76ers putting the series up to 3-2 for them. So we'll hop in the Simcast because this is a must-win game for the Knicks and Westbrook. And unfortunately, the 76ers are just going to blow out the Knicks 111-86 over there. We had Westbrook on 26-7, Randall on 25-5, but Ben Simmons on 28, Harris on 25, and Embiid on 17-16-4. So yeah, it's a very tough one when you're kind of up against those guys. And the 76ers are going to face the Spurs in the final. So we'll simulate the rest of that. And the 76ers are winning that one 4-1 with Embiid getting finals MVP. Unfortunately, that's another season without a championship ring for Russell Westbrook and Derrick Rose. Let's see whether anything next season can change. So Derrick Rose is going to team up with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. So let's see if he can win a chip with these guys. So Embiid is going to win MVP with the 76ers over there. We have Antetokounmpo winning another Defensive Player of the Year award. Naz Reid winning Most Improved Player, and Julius Randle getting Clutch Player of the Year with 22.5 points per game. Steve Kerr leading the Warriors to a 61-21 record season. But unfortunately, neither Derrick Rose or Russell Westbrook are going to make any of the All-NBA teams, even on the defensive end as well. So the Knicks are going to be out of the playoffs with Russell Westbrook averaging 24-9 throughout the season. And then on the flip side, we got Derrick Rose getting the Lakers into the play-in tournament with LeBron James and of course AD. He was putting up 20 points per game, which is still decent for him. But let's see whether they can actually make it out of the play-in tournament. They've got the Nuggets in there as well, but luckily they're going to come through that one to now come up against the LA Clippers. The Clippers have of course got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard on the same team, so this is going to be a very tough matchup for the Lakers. Let's see what LeBron, AD and Derrick Rose can do in this round. But unfortunately, the Lakers are just going to go out over there 4-1 in that series to the Clippers. So let's see who goes ahead and wins the playoffs. It is another season in a row without Westbrook or Derrick Rose advancing to the finals, and the Clippers are going to win it all this year 4-1 with Paul George getting himself finals MVP. So of course, at the start of the 2022-23 season, Russell Westbrook was with the LA Lakers, but he ended off the season with the Clippers. So that's where Derrick Rose is headed, where he gets to play with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard for that team. And then Russell Westbrook is still at the New York Knicks, but this time they have got Jalen Brunson. So let's see if he makes a difference to that team. So we got Morant somehow winning MVP, putting up a really good stat line of 32, 6 and 11. Chet Holmgren winning Rookie of the Year. Russell Westbrook getting 6th Man of the Year for the New York Knicks, which is great to see. And Antetokounmpo again winning Defensive Player of the Year. In terms of the teams, we've got the Clippers unable to make the play-in tournament this time around. Derrick Rose was putting up 17, 5 and 4, and even with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, things just didn't work out for these guys at all this season. Kawhi on 26 and 4, and then Paul George on 22, 6 and 5. So stuff just didn't work out for the Clippers, but the Knicks are in the play-in tournament led by Jalen Brunson this season, with Russell Westbrook looking like he's coming off the bench, hence the 6th Man of the Year trophy. So let's see whether these guys can make it through the play-in tournament, but unfortunately they're just gonna not be able to do so. They fell at the Toronto Raptors. Jalen Brunson putting up 23, 3 and 4. Westbrook on 10, 1 and 4, so he underperformed a little bit, but he was coming off the bench, I guess, for Jalen Brunson. The Raptors had Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and Achua there putting up some good numbers. And 2K had the Grizzlies winning in a 7-game series, giving Ja Morant the finals MVP for the 22-23 season. So we still got Derrick Rose on the Clippers, but this time they have acquired James Harden. So I reckon Derrick Rose will stay on the bench and just come off the bench for when he's needed. Kind of like how Westbrook did last season with the Knicks. And pretty much the same case for Westbrook over here. As you can see, he's got Ja Morant on his team. So I reckon Ja Morant will probably take the leading role at the point. And then Westbrook will probably be coming off the bench. Gonna be interesting to see whether either of these guys can win 6th Man of the Year in this final season. So Doncic is winning MVP in that 23-24 season. Wemby, of course, Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year as well, taking the title off of Antetokounmpo. We have Anthony Edwards winning Clutch Player of the Year. Jason Kidd leading the Dallas Mavericks to a 57-25 winning season. And unfortunately, neither Derrick Rose or Russell Westbrook are going to make any of the All-NBA teams. We kind of knew their roles were going to be sort of more role players this time. The Grizzlies are in the playoffs this season and the Clippers are in the play-in tournament. Derrick Rose putting up 15, 2 and 3, so a massive drop off to what he's previously been doing. But as I said, these guys are now mainly playing off the bench. So Westbrook on 13, 6 and 5, so playing a bit better than Derrick Rose at the moment for the Grizzlies. But let's see what happens in the play-in tournament. Unfortunately, the Clippers are just going to be eliminated there. They lost to the Phoenix Suns to get that 8th seed. But the Memphis Grizzlies are still in it, playing against the Denver Nuggets, who have of course got Jokic, Porter Jr., Gordon, and Jamal Murray as well. So definitely not an easy matchup for the Grizzlies. So let's see what happens in this first round. And we got Denver taking a 3-1 lead in the series, and there we go. The Grizzlies are going to be eliminated. So let's just end off these playoffs to see who 2K thought should have won this season. And it's going to be a Thunder Heat final with the Thunder coming out on top, with SGA getting finals MVP. So that is going to be it for the video of reversing Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook's career. If you want to go find out what if KD never left the Golden State Warriors back in 2019, go check out the video in the bottom left hand corner, and I'll see you guys in that one. Peace.